Hello Libra, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly love outlook for a connection that you have with someone. Whatever that connection is, we're going to see what it's all about this week. I've already been shuffling off camera so we can get right into cutting your deck, Libra, and see, first of all, what kind of spirits are impacting this connection this week. And then we're going to get into pulling out cards for you and cards for your person. All right, Libra, we have Spirit of the Child, Spirit of Masquerade, and Spirit of the Witch. All right, Spirit of the Child, Spirit of Masquerade, and Spirit of the Witch. Well, the child, of course, we're talking about immaturity, innocence, adventurousness, right? Spirit of Masquerade. Right now, people are perhaps hiding themselves, hiding their true faces. There's some falsehood, some deception. And then Spirit of the Witch, of course, is dabbling in magic, psychic activity. All right? Dabbling in the other side of life, right? I call it the other. Metaphysics, mysticism, all right? Meditation. All right, guys, Libra, let's get right into, we're going to know more about those energies as we pull out your cards. Let's get right into your reading and see where your person and where you are at this week. This is a connection that could be new or a connection that could be coming in from the past, whatever the case is. If it doesn't resonate for you, Libra, that's okay. This reading, of course, is not going to be for everybody, right? And this is for anyone, or can resonate for anyone who has Libra energy in their sun, moon, Venus, Mars, or rising. All right, guys? Let's get right into it. Your person is coming in with devil energy, and you're coming in with 6 of Swords this week. Talking about the 18th to the 25th. They see you as strength, Major Arcana 8, and you see them as a 5 of Cups. They desire Hermit energy, and you desire 8 of Wands. What needs to happen? Queen of Cups for them, and for you, Libra, Queen of Swords. Wow. Bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Swords coming in. And really talking about the Knight of Swords. Being at the bottom of the deck, this is kind of an underlying energy of the week. But the Knight really is that active energy of cutting away people, places, and things that you may be tied to that just continue to hold you back. Right? If you imagine your chariot ready to go forth and manifest your dreams, and you're constantly being held back, right, by things rather than being allowed to propel forward. The Knight is the one, the Knight of Swords is the one who goes through and really cuts those ties with those people. It takes a lot of strength to do that, to realize the things and the people and the places and the connections in your life that you have that aren't good for you. Now let's get right into it, Libra. Your person is coming in with devil energy, and you're coming in with 6 of Swords. So this is very interesting. The devil's showing up quite a lot now. Showing up for the last reading for Gemini, so your sister sign. Your person is coming in this week and they're really struggling with the shadow side of life, right? You may be dealing with somebody who normally rises to a quite high level spiritually, aesthetically. They may be someone who's quite artistic. I often find that the devil, we all have the devil in us. We all have a shadow side that we need to work on. We all have the ability to take the easier road in life, which leads us to our lesser selves, our baser selves, right? It's when we take the harder road, it's when we shoot for a higher level of engagement or a higher aesthetic that we rise to our higher selves. But this is an internal battle. It is a power struggle that we have within all of us, which is also why 5 is associated with power struggle in tarot, and this is the 15. The first 5 being the Hierophant, where we find no power struggle, we only find total devotion. But here with the devil, we're constantly struggling with ourselves, and your person is really seriously dealing with this week coming in. Now, you're dealing with 6 of Swords energy. You're wanting to move away from the strife and the struggling and the arguing. 6 of Swords is that energy of having said, you know, enough is enough. I'm turning my back on all of the hardship that has, you know, not even so much turning your back on hardship, but turning your back on negativity, right? Turning your back on arguing with people, turning your back on the type of relationships that give you nothing but Five of Swords energy. If we look at Five of Swords energy, that's constantly battling, and battling with people who don't even play fairly. So the Six of Swords, Libra, it's a decision to say, no, I'm not going to engage. I'm going to take me and my family, I'm going to turn my back, and I'm going to go. Some of you who have family or children, what have you, but here in this situation, it's a very conscientious decision to say enough is enough. And it can be, Libra, that you've maybe been going through quite a lot most recently in that area, right? There may have been quite a period of struggling and arguing and things of that nature. It could be indeed with this individual. Certainly if you're dealing with somebody who is walking that line, who is having that struggle, that internal struggle with themselves, that the devil would suggest. So let's go further. We'll come back to it. Now, Leo energy. By the way, the devil is the card for Capricorn in tarot. The Hermit is the card for Virgo. And the Strength card is the card for Leo in the tarot. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're dealing with somebody of those signs, but it's just something, it's interesting, and a lot of my watchers like to know this information. So in any case, 8, Major Arcana Strength card, right? So 8 is the number for strength, but it is also the number for boundaries. We also have an 8 of Wands down here, which I'm going to get to. But remember, 8, strength and boundaries, right? Strength and boundaries go hand in hand. Maintaining your strength. What do we talk about when we talk about strength? Don't we talk about energy suckers, right? Don't we talk about people who will sap your strength? They will sap your energy, right? How do we stop that? We put boundaries up. So strength, maintaining strength and boundaries are two sides of the same coin. And this is something that is really seen throughout the tarot whenever you look at any of the 8 cards. Your person sees you as that. Your person sees you as someone who's extremely strong, who has the ability to really sort of like, quell their baser needs, right? When somebody coming in with devil energy sees you as strength energy, it's like, wow, you don't, you know what I mean? You don't suffer on that. You don't succumb, rather. You don't succumb to your baser needs. You do not succumb to your baser desires. Strength is all about understanding the emotions inside of you, giving space for those emotions, but not allowing them to control you, right? Always being the one in charge. And how we do that is also part of that. Part of doing that is by putting boundaries in place and not allowing too many people to come in. So for your person to see you as strength, it's really like it's interesting for them to come in as devil and see you as that. They may be seeing you as a source of someone who can help them with this shadow work that they really need to do. However, you're walking away. 6 of Swords, you're coming in this week with a feeling of wanting to turn away. How do you see them? 5 of Cups. Wow, Libra, you see them 5 of Cups energy. Right? That is regret, sadness, right? For them to see you as strength and for you to see them as 5 of Cups, I think I almost feel like this is a week for you, Libra, where you're dealing with somebody where enough is enough, right? Enough is enough. And, they may be pulling away. And you're also pulling away to a certain degree. It could be that you're pulling away. It could be that you're wanting them to pull away. You're seeing them as a 5 of Cups, meaning that they are busy in the past. Their head is in the past. You might be dealing, Libra, with somebody who is stuck in the trauma of a past event or a regret, right? That they just can't come out of. Now, remember what I said earlier with 5 being the number for power struggle. In tarot, this is an internal power struggle. 5 of Cups is an internal power struggle where we are unable, or we are struggling to be able to sort of move out of the trauma of the past, or move out of a past pain into the future, to lift our heads up and look to the future, right? That's a difficult thing to do, and it is a source of an internal struggle. So what do you guys both desire? Hermit and 8 of Wands. So here we have Hermit. They're desiring really to pull away and be on their own. They're desiring to get away, to pull away, to walk the walk, walk this path on their own. Perhaps sort of just get away from everyone, right? You are, Eight of Wands is in your position of desire. So this is quite interesting. 8, again, is the need for boundaries, is the need for boundaries. Too much information, too much is going on. This may be a split. This may be a mutual split. This may be, this week, a mutual understanding. People are always hurt, but it's funny because you end up both what needs to happen. You both have queens. This is almost like a coming to terms, perhaps, that can you two make it through this difficulty? Can you two make it? You have Hermit energy here. You know, it's like they are struggling here with that devil, and you may have been in this struggle with them you may have been there with them before, right? We do have Spirit of Masquerade coming in, which is falsehood and deception to a degree. But they're struggling. You're just not there for the struggle, right? Now they certainly seeing you as being very strong, but this kind of like wallowing in the past that they're going through right now, and certainly this desire to kind of move on with their lives on their own. It could very well be that, Libra, I'm feeling very much like this may be somebody, right, where you've been with them, you love them, and you're kind of walking a difficult line here. Part of you is, yes, you love them, and you know that you can help them if they would just come away with you. It can be something to do with their inability or their unwillingness to leave where they're currently at. Could be one of these situations I'm feeling also, Libra, for some of you out there who are resonating with this. It's a case of like, look, you're ready to leave the area or environment that you're at. If they would come with you, then you both have a shot. Then they could really be done with some of the shadow work that they're having to do, or they could really do it in a healthy way. But they're so stuck in the past here. And I think that part of what is happening this week is that rather than go with you, they are still stuck in the past, but not willing to go with you. They're willing to do the work, but they don't want to do it with you. They want to do it on their own, right? They want to do it on their own. And you're the one now feeling like you need boundaries, because it's like, I think up until now, you may have been feeling like, well, hang on a second. I thought that the problem was that you couldn't get away. Now you're telling me that you can get away. You can leave certain areas, right? You can cut these ties, but you want to cut them alone. You don't want to cut the ties with me. And so there's mixed messaging coming in here with that 8 of Wands. Now, this could, of course, be vice versa, Libra, but this is a very specific message. I hope you get what I'm saying, right? It's like coming to terms with somebody. For instance, it's like, here's an example. Say, for instance, you're dealing with someone who has had an issue with drugs or an issue with addiction, right? And it's like they have been unwilling to leave the neighborhood or the area that they live in for various reasons. One, because they can satisfy their addiction there, and they could maybe they have other excuses like family, etc. But here you realize that until they're willing to leave, they just won't, things won't get better. And you're like, look, come with me, I can take you away. And then finally, what happens is they decide, well, guess what? I am willing to leave. I have come to the decision that you're right. I'm willing to leave this neighborhood or this area. I'm ready to leave. I know that by being here, I'm going to continue with this devil work, but I want to leave on my own. I don't want to leave with you. Okay? What I really desire is Hermit energy. And so then you are left with 8 of Wands, which is complete confusion, not understanding where or why. You may have even spent some time on this person, Libra. You may have been indulging this constant healing and this constant relapse and healing and relapse, making up for the fact, or making, I want to say, sort of not excuses, but accounting for the fact that they were unwilling to leave. Now they're willing to leave, but they're not willing to leave with you. And this is a really real heartbreak, I think. What needs to happen, it's very, very confusing. Certainly you need to put boundaries in. 8 of Wands means you absolutely do need to put boundaries in, because you are the stronger of the two. And it could very well be, Libra, that you're the one who has to still move and leave and go your separate ways. What needs to happen is Queen of Cups and Queen of Swords. Well, you both need to definitely tap into your hearts and who you truly are and what you truly want in your life, right? For them, they need to really get in touch with who they are and what it is they truly want in terms of an emotional exchange, right? Queen of Cups is all about wanting that deep emotional exchange, and being healthy, being emotionally healthy enough to have that deep emotional exchange with someone. The Queen of Cups wants to exchange that cup of love. She's offering that cup of love to the right person who can then give her an equally incredible cup of love back. She wants that exchange. Queens are always water. And here we have Queen of Cups is the watery aspect of water. Now with the Queen of Swords, what needs to happen for you is honesty with yourself. What roles have you played? What mask have you been wearing? And what roles have you sort of slipped into? Because Queen of Swords is about bringing watery aspect to air. So here we're connecting our heart chakra and who we truly are with our personality, with the way we speak, the way we act in our psyche and everything else. So the Queen of Swords is the one who's very, very honest about who she is, right? That sword of truth is connected to our heart chakra. So she doesn't wear a mask. She doesn't pretend to be someone she's not. She doesn't pretend to be someone, or she doesn't play a role for somebody else's satisfaction. And all of this connection between her head and her heart has allowed her to see with clarity. She's now, her head is out of the clouds. And so for you to see clearly and to have this kind of like clarity from all of this confusion that you've gotten now, because Eight of Wands is confusion. Very, very confusing, mixed emotions, messaging. It's when somebody says one thing and acts another way. And a lot of this has had a lot to do with Libra, the fact that you also have played a particular role in this connection, and it's time for you to break out of this role also. You both have really, both of you in this connection really needing to get in touch with your heart in terms of what you truly desire and who you truly are. Right? But you are certainly looking in opposite directions. You are, if you see the two queens side by side, they're looking in opposite directions, you know? And it's not, you know, I mean, I'm sure you could put one before the other, but the way I read them, you know, that's where it is, right? I always put the top card on the left, the other person's card, and your card on the right. There's very specific reasons for that. And so they are indeed, in this reading, they're pointing away from each other. They're facing away from each other. And it really seems to indicate that for a lot of you, if you're going through this, right, this may be the beginning of kind of just understanding a different path. You both on a different path. Not necessarily that you both may not be together, but that the next bit of time in your lives really holds something fundamentally different in a lot of ways, and yet in a lot of ways the same, right? You're both queen energy, but certainly for you, Libra, it's all about being extremely, extremely honest with your role to play, and Temperance energy coming in, Page of Pentacles, and Eight of Wands again. So there we have it. It's been very, very confusing. Eight of Wands is very confusing, but again, requires a lot of balance, right? It requires a lot of balance, boundaries rather, not balance. It requires boundaries. Of course, balance is always needed, but boundaries. Eight of Wands is all about boundaries, right? Not allowing everyone to come in at any old angle, not allowing everyone to have a piece of you, not allowing people to just come in with one energy one day and another energy the next day, and you're the one who constantly has to sort of adjust yourself, right? Here we have Temperance on the other side of that also. Temperance is also about that. Temperance is fundamentally about that. Constantly sort of adjusting your internal, right, to maintain your focus and center so that those around you and the chaos of everything around you, the chaos of that Eight of Wands is not throwing you off of your square and what you need to do. Page of Pentacles is there because this is a real week, I'm going to say, for some real activity. Right? I want to say real activity in terms of making the moves that you need to make to get where you need to be. Like really being active about putting boundaries in place, and however that means. And that Page of Pentacles, physical, whether that is actually physically erecting a barrier, moving, changing, whatever. You will understand what that means for you, Libra, if you resonate with this. But Page of Pentacles is very task orientated. Temperance and Eight of Wands. This week is all about you maintaining your center and really coming to terms with some things. I think you're going to really understand the nature of this connection, and it may be indeed be painful, but I think the most painful thing is that you may have been holding out for a solution that involved you two together, and this other person is willing to take that solution, but I have a feeling here that they're just not willing, they don't want it with you. And it's not necessarily about you, but it's more about the fact that they just need to be on their own. Hermit energy. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that, Libra. This is your reading for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share. All of that good stuff really helps me remain here and give you these readings. But for right now, my lovely Libras, I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you next week in your weekly outlook. Bye-bye now.